Hi everybody, it's Az here from Heel vs Babyface. Now then, if you've kept your ear to the grindstone, a lot of information about Legion has been coming out over the course of the weekend. The reason why is Blizzard have actually applied a beta patch to the beta servers, and then all the data mining people have been out grabbing and scavenging everything that they possibly can. I only say that in a derogatory way because I'm just jealous of all the information that they've managed to pull. Now, there's lots of stuff to potentially discuss, but quite a bit of it I'm going to just shy away from for the moment because a lot of it is just completely unfinished. Like the sets are unfinished, the talents are unfinished, yada yada yada. So there's no real point in kind of discussing them until they've been completed. Otherwise, you're not really saying much, are you? But one thing that I'd like to discuss today, because it has remained a constant from Gamescom to BlizzCon, and then through to the actual data mining, is one of the Demon Hunter mounts. Now then, just by saying that, I think I've probably pricked up a few people's ears. That's kind of really could have come out wrong, because we've only seen one mount so far, which is the Fell Saber. This is the one on the screen at the moment, but recent data mined information have actually pulled a second mount called a Demon Saber. So there's the Fell Saber, and then there's the Demon Saber. Now, the reason why I find this quite interesting is because, of course, Demon Hunters are the second hero class that the game has produced. The first ones being Death Knights. Death Knights came out with two mounts. They came out with a ground mount and they came out with a class specific flying mount as well. Certain other classes have mounts. Paladins have their own, Warlocks have their own, but there are quite a few classes which don't. So it would have felt slightly, not huge, and it definitely isn't a big deal, but it would have felt slightly weird if Demon Hunters had come out and they only had a singular class-based ground mount, which I believe is going to be the Fell Saber. Because if it's a hero class, then surely it's got to also mimic the style of the first hero class. It's having its own level boost, because that's technically what the hero element is. You're starting off way ahead of the curve. But if it only had one mount compared to the Death Knight's two mounts, it would have felt a little bit, There's definitely no pitchforks and charging over to the Blizzard windmill or anything like that, but it still would have felt a little bit odd. So with the news that they're also going to get a Demon Saber, it kind of asks a couple of questions. Number one, does this mean that the Demon Saber is going to be the flying mount version for the Demon Hunter? Or, and I just want to play a little bit devil's advocate here, because I love to do this. Or is the Demon Saber the Alliance or the Horde version of the class-specific mount? And they've actually got faction class-specific mounts. Now, I would find that weird, okay? I said I'm only playing devil's advocate, but I would find that very, very odd indeed, because it doesn't matter whether you're Horde or Alliance Death Knight, you still get the same mounts, okay? So I imagine that the Demon Saber is going to be the flappy winged version of the Fell Saber with, probably some different armors or whatnot. But now that we've kind of discussed that, I want to physically talk about the look of this mount, because I adore it. I absolutely adore it. Now, one thing that slightly grates my gears when I listen to people on the internet, and lots of stuff grind my gears about the internet, is people not quite understanding reskin versus recolor. All right? I don't think there's anything wrong with reskins whatsoever, because reskins, they still have the same skeleton structure as a creature, an existing model, but it's a completely new skin that goes on top. Completely new textures, completely new look, the whole job lot. A recolor is different. That's just taking an existing mount with its existing look and simply changing the pigmentation of the skin. So I've got nothing against re-skinning, but it's recoloring that does my bouncing. And I know we kind of mix it up at times. We kind of mistake it at times. But this is a reskin of a panther, quite clearly. But is it anything like a panther? No, it's completely and utterly different. Maybe this was a panther when it was alive. Maybe this was a panther when it wasn't demonically possessed. But just the very kind of look at it right now, my inner warlock is crying. Crying tears that this isn't going to be rideable by my warlock. So, I mean, one of the reasons why is if you look on the rear end, ladies, you see those two skulls, very reminiscent of the Warlock tier set from Warlords of Draenor, very reminiscent of the Gul'dan skulls as well. I definitely think there was that Legion-y aspect that they were going for. And yeah, I think they look very warlocky, but you know, they also look very demon-y, and demon hunters, there's a huge hint in the name of them. And then the front end, let's just look at the front end, because that skull at the front, I mean, that is proper ass exoskeleton. You know, this hasn't been skinned or anything by the looks of it. This is just demonically possessed exoskeleton face. If it doesn't blink, it would be awesome. If it just has those eyes, like, looking at you, those dead, possessed eyes looking at you with the little fel glow coming off them, it would freak you out, wouldn't it? It'd be absolutely brilliant. But the skull effect is awesome, and the exoskeleton just goes down the nape of the neck as well, like its mane is made up of this exoskeleton. Now, this kind of gives me another kind of point of view to talk upon, because this comes across as one of the most practical mounts in the game. Now, you know how we've got plenty of different mounts that you just get on, you know, horses and stuff. We just get on and they just look like creatures that were made for meandering around the world. This looks like a creature that was constructed to ride you into battle. This has got a completely kind of different feel from it. All the way from the armoured front with its exoskeleton neck and its exoskeleton skull, all the way through to the legs, and the way that the legs are heavily armoured up. So obviously looking to deflect away anything that's kind of coming forward to protect those legs. If something's kind of hung a bite at you or a hack at you, it's got that added protection. And on the back leg, you can just see that there's some fur coming down from inside of the actual leg plate armouring as well. So it's lined with fur, so it doesn't rub. It's just very nicely constructed, you know? And then it has the armor plating on top of it that's going to also make the fur act as an absorbent. So if it gets hit, then it's got the fur there to sort of absorb the impact as well. So it has been a very kind of practical look at the construction of this. The saddle, it's just a basic leather saddle. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. It doesn't need bells and whistles. It doesn't need spikes and all that kind of jazz. It, again, kind of just feels very practical, very ready and made for battle. And you can seriously see the demon hunter charging into war, charging in against the old demony poos on this mount, and then dismounting, jumping off, double jumping off, not just jumping off, double jumping off, and gliding into battle or zapping into battle because of the, you know, the maneuverability of the class. This definitely looks like it was constructed for war and constructed to take the demon hunter into the thick of battle, and I love that. I love it when mounts are legitimately thought out. They're not just like put together, oh, make it look evil, oh, stick some armor on it to make it look cool. You know, there's nothing wrong with those things, but I just love it when some legitimate thought seems to have been placed into the construction of this to go alongside the class that it was intended for. I know some of you may think, this guy is fucking crazy. He's getting a boner for just a mount. But you know me. If you know anything about me, A, I'm a mount whore, and B, I love my aesthetics. I really do love my aesthetics, from the environment team to the model creation team. I think they put such an amazing effort into whatever they do in the World of Warcraft. No matter how garbage the content may be at times, or how brilliant the content may be at times, they will always put in their 100% effort into the construction of stuff. And I just think that whoever created the thought process behind this mount is 100% spot on. Kudos, sir or madam. But yeah, when the Demon Saber model comes out, let's see if it is the flying version, or let's see if it does actually put the cat amongst the pigeons with a potential faction variation. Would be really interesting to know. So there we go. Let me know what you guys and gals think about it in the comments section down below. And I hope you enjoyed the vid. And if you did, do get a thumbs up and also subscribe. Follow me on social media and Twitch for live streaming. Links are in the description down below. And I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. Happy birthday to the World of Warcraft. They actually turn 11 years old today. Beta release, please. You take care, everybody. Bye-bye.